Most people don't have a clue what is happening with our food, and they don't want you to know what's happening with our food, but they are destroying it, destroying the food and destroying us in the process. Let's talk about it. Every aspect of our life is now under some kind of control, whether you realize it or not. People who don't fish won't realize it. People who do fish will realize it. People who do hunt will realize it. Right now, they are looking for ways to limit. They already have limits on stuff when it comes to fishing and hunting. They're wanting to limit it more. They want to limit the amount of people who are doing it. So they're increasing the prices of the fishing licenses and the hunting licenses, and how many fish you can actually catch in a day. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing? Thank you for being here today. So I'm sitting here waiting on my husband to come out. He got to get his beard right. I'm waiting on him to come out because he has to get gas to cut our grass. And y'all, we got a date later. That's something that I said we need to start doing this. We need to make this a priority. There are so many things that we need to be getting done when it comes to storing our food, because we want to be in control of what we have in our home and not someone telling us how much we can have and rationing this and rationing that. All that aside, we still gotta be a couple. We still have to get things done together, and you have to have a healthy relationship in order to do that. We have millions of people in the United States who are struggling to feed their families, struggling to feed themselves. You see them. A lot of us try not to see them, but they're there. And a lot of them are veterans. Regardless if they're a veteran or not, we still have people here in the United States that we need to be feeding. Yet and still, last year, we were sending food away to other countries. Make it make sense. If we have so many people that are here in the United States have been suffering, not having enough food to feed their families, using the food banks, and now even more people are using the food banks who never used the food banks before. If we have all of those people combined, and we have inflation where it stands right now, this all seems very planned to me. Because of the fact, and I'm not doing conspiracy, I'm just doing my opinions. So to me, it was a matter of time before all the crime that is taking place right now in stores, where people are looting and stealing and whatever they're doing in these stores, all of that was to be expected to happen. In the Midwest, we're going to talk about eggs. You see the egg prices now, they are dropping in certain areas. I remember when egg prices were $29 at its highest that I've seen it, maybe $30 for 60 count. Now those same eggs have dropped down to $11 in some areas, $6 in others, $5 in others. Mind you, before the pandemic happened, egg prices for 60 count were $4.09 or $5.09, depending on the state you were in. So I took some notes. It says Midwest egg sales were 94 cents just last week for a dozen. And that's wholesale market, where they were $5.46 just 6 months ago. And then in retail, it was going for over $1, and it is steadily declining. So what's the why behind that? They're saying supply and demand is the why as to why the prices are steadily decreasing. So apparently this time of the year is not the time of the year where the demand is high for eggs, as opposed to after the summer when kids go back to school, or during holidays like Mother's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, things like that. The eggs are in higher demand because people are baking more. Okay, that's fine. So originally they were saying, well, there's a shortage of these eggs because of the avian flu, and they had to cull millions of birds, which they did cull millions of birds. But did they really have avian flu is what I'm starting to question, because a lot of profit was made during this time because the price of eggs increased to those $30 for 60 count and $5 and $6 for a dozen. A lot of people made money. There was a company, and now they're saying also that farmers had, inflated feed prices and cost of fuel. And yes, that does cost. Farmers didn't make that money. A lot of people mad at farmers because they think the farmers increased the prices. No, the farmers didn't make that money, but these companies did. This company called Cal-Maine Foods, the largest U.S. egg producer, reported a profit growth of over 700% in the ending quarter of February 25th because of higher prices. So that is why I say all of this crap was a plan. One, to control us by controlling the food. And if you can control the food, you can control the people. If you can feed into their fear and their panic of it's not going to be enough, because we're going to make it not enough. We're going to say there's avian flu. And yeah, there is avian flu, but we're going to magnify it and make it seem like it's more than it is. We're going to cull millions of chickens. Why? Because we can make a profit. We can make a profit off of people who are struggling. So now all of a sudden we have enough egg laying chickens now. You culled millions, meat birds and egg layers. And then there was that fire that took place at a chicken farm. Then there were eggs were spilled all over the highway in Texas, like 35,000 or something like that. So much. You got to connect the dots, y'all. And I'm not reaching. You really got to connect the dots. They are doing this stuff intentionally. And a lot of people have caught on to that. And some people not paying attention. Some people just don't give a crap. But they are planning this stuff. And it's all money. It's always about that dollar. We still had millions of birds remaining even after they culled millions. We still had millions. We still had a shortage? No. We had greedy people, greedy companies who were gouging us. And they always say, oh, we shouldn't gouge. And I think if some of us would dig deeper into these companies, we'll find that a lot of our politicians are probably stockholders at some of these companies that's making 700% profit. So now they say buyers are buying less. Well, yeah, they are. They're buying less because they can't afford to buy anything but necessities. And even the necessities are not being bought in bulk as much as they were. People are having to budget more and cut down. Middle class is becoming poor. Poor is becoming poorer. Rich is becoming middle class. Wealthy is going to remain wealthy. Wealthy is going to become even more wealthier because they're going to eat off of all of us. So while the egg prices are going down, this is what I suggest. Not telling you to do this, but this is what I suggest. Because I have egg layers, so I haven't had to buy eggs. But I do have to buy feed, which is where I'm headed now. And I'm interested to see if their feed prices have gone up. I don't buy that big box feed anymore. I buy feed that is made by actual people at the feed store. It's not sent out and shipped in and none of that stuff. It is all linked up together, because if you're buying cheaper foods that are not healthy for you, you're going to end up with more illnesses. Illnesses lead you to the doctors. Doctors lead you to the medications. And the cycle repeats itself. So everybody is linked in to each other, and everybody is profiting off of everybody. That's why I said the wealthy are just going to get wealthier, because they're going to eat off of us, which means they're going to take whatever little we have to make sure they're surviving. Now they're doing just fine, but they want more. It's called greed. Small bone in and boneless are still under pressure because of some processors having to increase the bird size. Now, how are they increasing these bird sizes? Hormones, which leads us to poor health, which leads us to the doctor's office, which leads us to the medications, and the cycle repeats. You see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm getting with this? I don't want to say there's no solution. There's always a solution to stuff, but you have to be willing to do it. So since they're saying egg prices are down now and they are still decreasing, but they expect them to go back up, because they say right now it's not a high demand for them, but in the fall, when kids go back to school and during the holidays, it's going to go up. So while the egg prices are down right now, if I were you and I was still buying eggs, I would be stocking up my eggs. And you say, how do you do that? You can freeze your eggs. You can dehydrate your eggs. You can even pickle your eggs. I don't do pickle eggs, but I do dehydrate it and freeze eggs. That way you'll have that down the road, and you won't be falling trapped for this control that they're trying to have. Every aspect of our life is now under some kind of control, whether you realize it or not. People who don't fish won't realize it. People who do fish will realize it. People who do hunt will realize it. Right now, they are looking for ways to limit. They already have limits on stuff when it comes to fishing and hunting. They're wanting to limit it more. They want to limit the amount of people who are doing it. So they're increasing the prices of the fishing licenses and the hunting licenses. I think last year we paid either $10 or $20 for fishing licenses. Well, I lost mine. So I went in because I thought it was expired. I said, I want to get another one. It's going to cost me $40 right now. And then she was like, well, it doesn't expire until June 5th. I said, well, then I'll hold out. She said, yeah, that's fine. You can hold out. I'll reprint it, $7. And then she said the price is going up from $40 to $50 in July. So when I told my son that, the first thing he said is, man, they really trying to control what we do when it comes to the food. Not really talking about it a lot. You got to really look for it or hear innuendos and then say, well, let me do some research into that and see if that's really happening. It's really happening. It really is happening. It's a lot happening, y'all. Be woke. I don't mean to bring that to you, but be woke. Wake the heck up. It's too much going on for us not to pay attention, for us not to care about what we are eating, why we're eating it, and if we're going to have it to eat at all. Because at any moment, they could say, well, we need to get rid of this right here. We need to dwindle this down some. So let's do X, Y, and Z. And that's going to cause people to freak out, panic. Then they want to call you hoarders or panic buyers and all this other stuff when they are creating this thing. It is a scheme. So I'm going to show you a video that I did just 10 months ago with the UN talking, and I'm just going to show a little clip of it. You would have to go to the actual video that I did for the longer version of it. But just a little clip of it with them talking about where it stands with global food crisis. But yet and still, they are giving away food by giving out the EBT food stamp cards to the immigrants that come over to the country, when people here who are working hard, still not making ends meet, having a hard time putting food on the table, can't get no help. Make it make sense. They say they care about the water that we drink, the food that we eat. And this is why we have to have so many regulations, you know, with the FDA and all this other stuff. Well, if that's the case, then why is it Flint still having issues with their water? Why is it Ohio is still having issues with that train derailment that went in, the chemicals went into the water and went into the air and affected the people's breathing and the drinking water and their animals? Why? Why are they trying to ban fishing and hunting? Because you don't want us to feed ourselves. You want us to rely on you. That is what they want. And that is what they are doing. And we need to pay attention. So right now, I'm going in with this $40. And I'm going to get, and I shouldn't need this whole $40. I'm going to get feed for my chickens. So you saw me go in there with $40. I came out with $12 and some change. Each bag, each 50-pound bag was $12.95. And I paid total $25.90 before tax. In total, I paid $27.71. My change was $12.29. Listen, feed prices are expensive. But they're putting things in that feed. So your animals will produce less for you. In turn, you're going to get tired of spending that money. You're going to, why am I even doing this? So I'm not even going to grow. I'm not even, you know, because of fertilizers, price of that going up. I'm not even going to grow my own food. I'm not even going to raise any animals, meat animals, egg layers, none of that. And I'm just going to go to the store and buy what I need. Then they got you where they want you to be. Because now you go into the store and you're at the mercy of whether or not they want to plan another shortage. Let's see what the egg prices look like now in Walmart and Aldi, and then we're going to end this video. And please don't get me started on the beef, the cattle, and all of the culling that they did with those animals, and then all those animals that died of heat stroke or whatever they died from in Texas, and then ranchers having to go to sell their cattle earlier than they normally would have because they couldn't afford to feed them because the feed prices had gone up so much. They're trying to put people out of business rather. Walmart even purchased a ranch. Think about that. So first we're going to go into Aldi. So this bread right here, it's like homemade bread. It has 3 main ingredients: flour, water, and salt. Then you look at the ingredients on the back: wheat flour, water, sourdough culture, wheat flour, water, whole wheat, flour, sea salt, malted barley, flour, enzymes. Then you look at this Wonder Bread, and you look at the long list of ingredients that they have in here, some of which you can't and I can't even pronounce. And you tell me, I know it's for shelf stable and all this other stuff, but what are they doing to the food? So this is the cheapest I've seen eggs in a long time. $1.18 for 1 dozen of eggs. And they do have some behind it, not much. And then the milk is $2.95 per gallon. So even though they have condensed their chicken poultry area, which is chicken and turkey, they've condensed it down. No one's over here buying it. There's the prices. So even with prices not being as much per pound, people still are budgeting and limiting what they get. Now let's see what Walmart got. You got a cut watermelon for $8.97. 1 pack of 4 round chuck patties for $7.76. This is this short condensed section that they have for chicken. And there's nobody in this area, not even all the way down to the beef section. They're just not buying it. Let's see what the eggs look like. So they have cut this dozen in half. You can get these now for 72 cents. 6 eggs. You can get 18 eggs for $1.68. Now they have in here, I know I did videos on them with the 60 count eggs. This box right here was like $29 months ago. Look at the price. Who's scamming? Who's taking the money? Who's reaping the profit? This right here, what they doing to us with the money and the food and all that, y'all pay attention. See that behind me? Remember, they had about 3 recalls. Nothing on the shelf. They pulled everything. Parents were panicking. Mothers could not find formula for their newborns. Not even the hospitals could find stuff. And then they shipped all of that formula in from overseas. What happened to that? And then Mexico had an abundance of formula. Nothing recalled off of their shelves. Make it make sense. Y'all hit the like button, share this video out, leave some comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you, but God loves you more.
You know, if I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat, and they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over I mean, just like throwing food around, but they're telling me there's no food in here. You know what I'm saying? Every day. I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song was gonna change to we hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, you know, give me all the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago, this movement. We was asking. You know, now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're gonna do? Ask?
Troubling is out of those 276 million people that are marching toward starvation, struggling to find food on a daily basis, living from hand to mouth every day. There are 49 million people, as the Secretary General very clearly stated, in 43 countries that are knocking on famine's door.
By explicitly saying that the Russia-Ukraine war did not start a food security crisis. It simply added fuel to a fire that was long burning. A crisis we detected tremors from long before the COVID-19 pandemic exposed the fragility of our supply chains. In 5 months, we have undone 20 years of progress. Without substantial, immediate, and aggressive coordinated global actions, we stand the risk of an extraordinary amount of both human suffering and economic damage.
Underneath the overpass that they're cleaning up right now. We first reported this accident this morning on daybreak. It happened just before 4 a.m. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office said an 18-wheeler carrying 30,000 pounds of eggs flipped. All the cases and cartons of eggs spilled onto the highway, and several hundred eggs were cracked open. Crews have been cleaning the mess ever since. The driver of that 18-wheeler was not hurt.